This hourly segment is brought to you by Infinity. Visit one of your Infinity retailers in Chicago, Glenview, Libertyville, Orland Park, or Lisle today. Infinity, accelerating the future.
The solution rather than the problem. Rush Limbaugh with Talent on Loan from God. Weekday morning starting at 11 on News Talk 890 WLS.
7:40, 20 until 8 with Don Wade and Roma. And I know you're listening. I'm watching you through the radio. Or, well, it would almost seem that way when they get rid of the barcodes and put in these new devices. I guess we'll be able to watch and check and see whatever you're doing and wherever you're going.
Right. Radio frequency ID tags.
Modern technology can help so much, and yet it's a little bit scary if used in the wrong way. Barcodes. You know what barcodes are on every product you buy in the store? You run it past the scanner, and they can preset certain prices, and it
supposedly brings up the price you saw on the shelf.
So it facilitates commerce, makes everything easier, faster. But now they say barcodes are going to be obsolete. They're having a symposium in Chicago this week.
A consortium of retailers and consumer goods companies to unveil this new technique.
And this new thing is called Electric Product Code Network. And what they're going to have is radio frequency identification tags embedded in the label, which will enable retailers to track the whereabouts of goods and the people who buy them. Now, that's out on the edge of what they're doing. The first step is to get people like Walmart, Gillette, Procter & Gamble, and all of these big folks who move from warehouses to retailers in trucks and trains and planes, and it's a way of tracking all the products so they know where stuff is. Where is the truck? Where is the train? Where's that load?
Chips. Yeah, and they track that from the factory to the warehouse, to your home, to your car, to your cottage, to your vacation. They know where it's gone.
So is this a problem? Can you come up with a scenario where you would not want that radio frequency identification tag on the product? Now, is there any reason? The argument is going to be, hey, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you care? But perhaps you could come up with a scene where you're going to go and buy a lawful product as your normal grocery shopping, or, I don't know, could be anything. It could be grocery shopping, it could be buying sporting goods or clothing or whatever.
Tag on it.
Right, if it's got a tag.
This is your price
tag. Or not
tag.
A tag, a label.
Yeah.
It's in the label.
So it could be even on your clothes, conceivably.
Right.
And they could know where you were by your clothes.
So can you come up with a scenario where that would not be okay with you? Right? It's just a way of facilitating commerce, but because I can see ways that I wouldn't like that.
The executive director of MIT's center that's talking about this symposium says it's intended to be a bit like a starting pistol for this new technology. And Walmart gave it a kick in the rear this summer when it told its top suppliers that they better have these tags on by a certain date. They've given their suppliers a date when they need to have these tags on them.
All right, Eric is in Valpo. Welcome to WLS, Eric.
Hi, I just wanted to say I think this is an egregious invasion of privacy, and I think that you guys ought to use your mouthpiece in order to let people know who their congressmen are in your listening area and get them to encourage to, email the White House or what have you so that there can be something done about it. We've got enough problems with invasion of privacy as it is. Why stand around silently while another one is,
well, that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I appreciate your calling. Thank you.
They intend to use these like the barcodes are used, except it gives you... Now, they keep telling you it's for tracking things from the factory to the warehouse to the storeroom so things don't just sit there.
Mike in Chicago, you're on WLS.
Hey, Don and Roba, good morning.
Hey, Mike.
Listen, there's a place up in Vernon Hills called Zebra Technologies that makes these tags, and I've been working up there for a while with them. This story about being able to track you in your home and everything, it's not accurate at all. These tags have a range of about 6 feet. So conceive if that was going to happen, they'd have to put receivers every 6 feet everywhere. That's way too expensive. People aren't going to do it.
You know, I'm not going to argue because you may know something about the technology here, but it's the same technology that they use in an iPass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so if you're in whatever range, they know.
Right, yeah, and it has to be, about 6 or 10 feet. So unless there's a receiver 6 or 10 feet from every room in your home, I'd say you're pretty safe.
Okay.
All right, so you claim there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no, and believe me, the amount of information that these things can pass is so limited.
But it can tell you whether there's a Gillette, razor in your hand.
Yeah, if you happen to be next to a transmitter.
Right.
I mean, it's very similar to the technology that Walgreens uses to thwart shoplifting. I don't know if you've ever taken one of their products home and found a kind of a thick tag on the bottom of it that has...
Those white things that are on boxes and
stuff
like
it's
that.
the same thing.
Well, not exactly the same.
Yeah, very similar, though.
Okay, so it's embedded in there, and they say right now it's just for warehouses, but tracking individual products all the way to the checkout line is further down the road.
Right.
So then if they follow you to the checkout line, then what?
Right. Well, then, there are a couple different options. One of them is to disable the tag when you leave the store, and that's done electronically. And again, with the limited transmission range, this is not, following people home and knowing what they do with their Gillette razor.
Big Brother's everywhere.
Mike, I appreciate the input. Thank you. Although, having lived in Germany for some time, I know what the rules and regulations are concerning broadcasting there. You pay for every radio you've got in your house. You pay for every television that you have in your house, a tax to the government.
Really?
And you know how they check whether you got radio or TV in your house?
No.
They have these trucks that drive around that listen for radio frequencies, and they can tell by sitting out on the street whether you got a radio in your house or a TV in your house. And if you're not supposed to and you haven't paid the tax, then the German official comes up to your house.
Oh, great.
They call them Schwarzhören and or Schwarzfern. I can't remember the word now, but it's like you're an underground, you're an illegal listener or viewer. And if that technology is available, and so if the thing can only be detected from a few feet away. But, all it takes is somebody walking through your condo or near your house, and they say, "Ooh, they got the so-and-so in there, and they got the so-and-so."
Are you underage? Should you have this product? Do you have cigarettes in this house?
Yeah, let's go to, wait a minute. Is this Dave who's in Algonquin? Dave, welcome to WLS.
Hi, how you doing, Don? Hi, Roma.
Dave.
Hey, this is actually... There's a couple neat things about the product. I mean, I'm in the process of actually trying to sell to the company that makes these, and with the RFID, one of the neat things about it is when you pull up your shopping cart up to the register, eventually what they're going to do is they emit an RF wave at the product, and that causes a reaction with the silicon and the antenna inside of the barcode tag.
Yes.
I think you just...
And...
So what they can do is they can scan the entire cart at one time.
And stop your heart in the process. Pacemakers will be...
Well, it'll speed up your checkout. Imagine instead of having to sit in the line for 20 minutes, there's other people in front of you trying to check out.
In 10 seconds, they tell you got $250 worth of groceries.
Right, and then it's not something you worry about, because think of it, if they were going to send a signal down from a satellite to try to find out where a product is out in the field, you'd have 100 million signals bouncing back at the satellite. It'd be almost impossible to actually track where what product would be, if they would even transmit that far, but they can only go a few hundred feet.
Nothing to worry about. No problem.
Yeah.
But, every box of Cheerios is going to have the same style RFID, so they're going to have 10,000 Cheerios bouncing back to them.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I feel so much more comfortable now. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Ted Kaczynski lived in a little shack, and I believe it's vacant. So if anybody wants to make a run for it,
We could all go together.
yeah, we'll all go hang out in the shack. It's 11 until 8, WLS.